from around Minnesota.
After months of campaigning, this is the first test for some political candidates, the last for others. In Eden Prairie, a different kind of test spells victory for neighbors today, while students campaigning for their own environmental cause celebrate a coup in the lunchroom. I'm Cindy Hilger. Dave Moore is off. Mike Fairborn has the sticky forecast, and Mark Rosen has sports.
The 6 o'clock news on Channel 4 is next.
They attack in vast numbers. He alone can stop them. Its bite can be painful. His bite can be lethal. You've met the attackers. Please. Now, meet the exterminator, the Orkin Man. Armed with one of the most sophisticated pest control systems in the world, he destroys fleas and prevents their return. Guaranteed. The Orkin Man. One call destroys them all.
I heard so much about it. You know, try breakfast with grape nut cereal for 1 week and see how it helps keep you going all morning. I had to try it. Well, it turns out grape nuts is loaded with complex carbohydrates. So it's not just a good nutty taste. It's a natural energy source that really, truly helps keep you... You got to give it a week yourself to believe it.
Breakfast with Post Grape Nuts helps keep you going strong all morning long.
The National Weather Service has just issued a tornado warning, and this is for eastern Barron County, northern eastern Barron County in central Wisconsin. We've had reports of 2 tornadoes about 5 miles west of Rice Lake. Again, this tornado warning is in effect until 6:30 tonight. The Weather Service issued a tornado warning until 6:30 for northern and eastern Barron counties in western Wisconsin. We'll have a complete weather update for you in just a few more minutes.
From WCCO Television, the community's first choice for news in the 90s. This is Dave Moore and Cindy Hilger. And this is the 6 o'clock news.
With just 2 more hours before the polls close, voters just now coming home from work are casting their ballots. But estimates show only 1 in 4 voters will show up at the polls today. Interest is down from other years. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Dave Moore has the night off. On this primary election day, Minnesotans are narrowing the field of candidates for office. Perhaps the biggest race in this state is for the governor's job. Several Republican candidates are hoping to beat the incumbent Rudy Perpich. And Pat Kessler joins us from IR candidate Arnie Carlson's headquarters in Bloomington. Pat?
Cindy, in fact, Republicans believe they have the best chance in years to unseat Rudy Perpich, and they have put together a slate of 3 very tough candidates. Arnie Carlson skipped his party's convention for this night. He believes he has the best chance of winning against the Democrats in the fall. Now, John Grunseff is the party's endorsed candidate. He's counting on a strong showing from the party faithful, especially in southern and western Minnesota. And Doug Kelly, another candidate by the Republicans, has a surprisingly strong campaign this spring and this summer, trying to attract younger and suburban voters. In recent days, the Republican Party, though, has pulled out all the stops for its endorsed candidate, John Grunseff. They've spent a lot of time and money on the telephone get-out-the-vote drives, and they believe that although Grunseff is trailing in the polls, they're saying this afternoon that they believe this is going to be a long night and a very close election. Now, Trish Van Pilsen is standing by, and she's following the Democratic races. Trish?
Pat, I'm at Mike Hatch campaign headquarters at the North Star Hotel in Minneapolis. There are a few campaign workers here right now, but the party starts at 8 when the polls close. That's about when we expect Mike Hatch to arrive. Now, this morning, Hatch cast his ballot at the Burnsville City Hall. The former Minnesota Commerce Commissioner spent more than $600,000 on this primary campaign. His top issues in the past couple of weeks: the need for a change in state leadership and abortion. He supports a woman's right to choose. Governor Perpich, as always, voted on the Iron Range, where he's gotten consistent support. He spent more than $800,000 during the primary. His campaign has focused on the accomplishments of his administration, which he says has made Minnesota a national leader in areas such as jobs and education. He opposes abortion. Now, Perpich will spend the evening at the governor's mansion in St. Paul, and he often, during these kind of elections, will just stay there. But he tells us, or his staff tells us, rather, that he is expected to make an appearance at DFL headquarters at the Holiday Inn Metrodome sometime after 10. Cindy?
Okay, Trish, thank you very much. While the candidates for governor are preparing to watch tonight's results come in, Senate candidates are also gearing up for a big night at their own campaign headquarters. But before the DFL candidates can think about taking on Rudy Boschwitz, they have to worry about each other. State Ag Commissioner Jim Nichols stepped behind the curtain this afternoon, hoping to beat his opponent as well as the opinion polls, which show 45% of the voters were still undecided. But the endorsed candidate, Paul Wellstone, has raised about 10 times more money for his campaign, and he seemed to be pretty relaxed this afternoon at his son's soccer game in Chaska. As for incumbent Rudy Boschwitz, there is no other IR candidate to challenge the senator, so he will face either Wellstone or Nichols in November. Of course, we'll have all the election results, including live updates from all the campaign headquarters as the vote tallies come in. The polls close at 8 o'clock tonight, so watch for those results tonight here on Channel 4. Now to our other big news story today, a victory for residents in Eden Prairie who fought so long and so hard to keep a nearby landfill from expanding. These families are toasting the news that the company which wanted to expand the Flying Cloud landfill has decided to abandon the plan. Browning Ferris Industries, or BFI, has wanted to double the size of the landfill. But residents were so opposed to the idea that officials say the controversy isn't worth the trouble. There's a valid reason many residents are opposed to any plans to expand that landfill. The Flying Cloud dump had to be shut down 2 years ago after authorities found unsafe levels of methane gas and groundwater contamination. BFI says it's working to clean up the waste, but even though these plans are scrubbed, a new site for garbage will be needed in just 5 years.
Siting a new landfill probably, in this case, would be easier than expanding.
Any ideas now where you're looking?
No ideas at all.
BFI says it will take 3 or 4 years to clean up the Flying Cloud landfill and 20 to 30 years before the land can be used for building sites. In St. Paul, those striking bookbinders at Brown and Bigelow Publishing are now back to work. More than 200 members of the Graphics Communications International Union have been on strike since last Thursday, but the 5-day walkout ended last night. A federal mediator helped the two sides reach an agreement last night on a new 42-month contract. Well, there's much more ahead on the 6 o'clock news, including Mike Fairborn's forecast, and he'll let us know if we'll see a break in the muggy weather in the next few days.
From the hills and villages of northern Italy come delicate, creamy-tasting sauces. And from the warm climes of southern Italy come hearty tomato sauces. Now all these pasta dishes with fresh-baked garlic rolls can come to you, but only if you come to Italy, or Perkins Family Restaurants, whichever is more convenient.
They hail from the City of Angels, and they can really fly. See the twins try to knock the California Angels down to earth Wednesday night on Midwest Sports Channel.
A kiss? Oh, not right now. You really don't want to kiss me.
Dangerous. Very dangerous.
Give me a minute, honey.
Don't let morning breath ruin a good morning. Get Scope. Scope has 2 powerful ingredients to kill 90% of the bacteria that cause morning breath.
Didn't I hear something about a kiss?
Right here. Right now.
Kiss me.
It is time for a kiss.
Scope, the best thing first thing in the morning.
Hey, you. Put that kiss right here.
It's the clearance that's got people talking.
My husband and I got a great deal, and they reduced the price so we could get the vehicle we wanted.
The Incredible Advantage clearance, where you'll get incredible deals on Plymouth Voyager. Hundreds have sold, hundreds more must go.
My family loved it. I loved it. My neighbors loved it.
So see your neighborhood Chrysler Plymouth dealer now, because time is the only advantage they can't give you.
In Chanhassen this morning, some jangled nerves as about 50 school children boarded a bus. These children were on the bus that crashed yesterday, sending all on board to the hospital. None was seriously injured. And today's safe return to school marked a welcome bit of reassurance.
Now, Mike Fairborn and the weather.
I bet you have an update on that severe weather.
We do, and we also wanted to mention, it doesn't make a lot of difference, I guess, but we did get the official report that the bad weather in Nelson, Wisconsin, was a tornado, a fairly weak one, and apparently skipped along as it went along rather than staying on the ground for a long period of time, but they surveyed the damage and determined that it was a tornado. In western Wisconsin, getting hit again. We were on just before we went on with the 6 p.m. report, and A tornado warning is in effect until 6:30, and this is for northern and eastern Barron counties. We've had reports of at least 2 tornadoes near the intersections of Highway 25 and 48. That's about 5 miles west of Rice Lake. Moving east at 15 miles an hour would be just about in the Rice Lake area right now. So if people are up there viewing us right now, they should really be taking shelter, and stay tuned for later updates and warnings. Well, today, you could almost feel it, couldn't you? A big return of the humidity here in the Twin Cities with 88 degrees for a high and the dew points back up in the upper 60s. It feels like something's cooking out there, and it certainly is. Our precipitation 0. Overnight low, though, was 58 degrees, fairly comfortable. We're partly cloudy right now with 85. The winds are strong out of the south, 18, gusting to 25 miles an hour. Our dew point is still a miserable 68 degrees in the barometer, 29.96, and it's falling right now. Well, here's what we're watching on radar. We have a line of thunderstorms to the north. That's in a watch area. We also have this cluster of thunderstorms right now over around the Spooner and the Rice Lake area. These are moving east and northeast. Now, if we drop ranges and look at this within 75 miles of us, you can see this huge thunderstorm complex. We're actually seeing some things that look like hook echoes on the radar, which are indicating possible tornadoes, and we're also monitoring this in the Doppler mode. We'll continue to update you as we continue to watch these thunderstorms move to the east-northeast into western and central Wisconsin. Well, what we're looking at right now is just mostly clear skies across Minnesota through the night. That's what made it so comfortable. But late in the day, thunderstorms developed over Wisconsin. This is the area that we're watching right now, and you can see the line up to the northwest of us. All of this is moving in an easterly direction, and we are in some watches, at least part of the state, till 11 p.m. for a big area of northern and western Minnesota, and also for a big chunk of central Wisconsin. We are actually having tornadoes breaking out there now, even though both of those are severe thunderstorm watches. Look at what's happening with the dew points. In the 60s to the south and some 70s, but look how quickly we dry out here to the west. The dew points dropping through the 50s into the 40s, even 38 degrees out in Pierre, South Dakota. We're not going to get that air in here for a while, but when it does, it's going to feel good. Here's what we have going on. Low pressure areas tracking along the U.S.-Canadian border. That's keeping the warm southerly wind flow into us, and until this cool front comes through sometime late on Thursday, we're going to stay hot, we're going to stay humid, but behind that, a big change taking place. Temperatures will drop off into the 60s here by the weekend, but until then, look for more temperatures up in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Well, here's the forecast for tonight for the Twin Cities. Variable clouds, breezy, warm, and humid. Still a chance of thunderstorms for us. They could pop out any place. We're very unstable. 67 degrees for a low with southwest winds at 15 to 20. Tomorrow, partly sunny, warm and humid. A chance of thunderstorms again. 89 degrees for a high. Tomorrow night, still warm and humid with a chance of thunderstorms. 68 for a low. And Thursday, continued warm and humid with a chance of thunderstorms. 86. Then relief. Friday and Saturday, temperatures dropping down into the 60s, back up into the 70s, it looks like, by Sunday. And one more thing, a tornado warning for northern and eastern Barron County until 6:30. Another tornado was reported a little north of the city of Barron in Barron County. So still some problems over there.
Thank you very much. We'll be right back.
About recycling programs in your neighborhood, call The Connection at 922-9000.
If you think Acura only makes upscale, upper-income bracket performance cars like the soon-to-be-released NSX, you're half right. But the Acura Integra is the other half. Integra was designed for performance, too, but with something more, an affordable price for us upscale, sort of upper-income people. And my Acura dealer has the best selection on Integras right now. I can have it all. Automatic, air, AM, FM stereo, cassette, sunroof, leather seats, and I do want it all. So I'll have this now and that later. Did I mention the Integras are on sale?
Gregory Harrison has a tough job.
I'm a fireman. I smell like smoke occasionally.
But his toughest job is raising his kids.
There's 4 of them, right?
He does have a little help.
Grandpa, I don't have any goldfish.
What did I put in water?
But being both father and mother takes a little practice.
How's that?
Too tight, I can't blink.
That's why he's working full-time to keep his family from going up in smoke.
Fire's kind of a thing.
From the producers of Full House, The Family Man, sneak previews tonight.
Led by power hitters Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire, the Oakland Athletics are shaking up the American League West. Find out if the Twins can keep the Bash Brothers at bay when they battle Oakland Saturday afternoon at 3, only on Channel 4, the Twin Station.
Well, Mark Rosen's here a little bit early to talk about what's happening in the world of sports.
And to catch my breath, thank you very much.
Okay.
The New Orleans Saints are coming to town 3 o'clock, by the way, against the Vikings this Sunday at the Metrodome. The Saints have always had trouble beating the Vikings, no matter what the circumstances, and they'll have to shake off a big emotional hangover by the time they come here on Sunday after missing a great chance to knock off the champion 49ers last night. The Saints defense has never looked better, swarming Joe Montana for over 3 quarters. They sacked him about a half dozen times. But New Orleans, well, they just couldn't put the finishing blows against the 49ers. Montana coming back here, and Mike Kofer gave the 49ers a chance to win the game here, 38 yards out. And was there ever any doubt? Saints quarterback John Fourcade took the blame for the poor offensive showing of New Orleans.
But when you're up 12-10 and you're down there and you figure you just get 1 first down, you play 60 minutes of football and you got to get 1 first down, and we don't get it, and then, hey, that's our fault.
Well, from our You Can't Always Believe What You Read file, Herschel Walker went sledding. That, according to USA Today this morning. They have Herschel and Willie Gault going to Lake Placid today for a U.S. Olympic bobsled team trial. Well, not so fast. Instead of trying out for the Winter Olympics, Herschel went to Winter Park. He had treatment this morning, in fact, for a sore leg. However, Walker said he is still very interested in bobsledding. We'll try to make a trial later this fall on his day off, of course. Well, the Raiders will stay in Los Angeles. Mayor Tom Bradley and Raiders owner Al Davis banged out a deal, and what a deal it is for Davis, to keep the Raiders in town instead of moving back to Oakland. The L.A. Coliseum will be renovated, but not at the expense of the taxpayers. Only Davis will profit. Well, Kevin Tapney will return to the mound for the first time in nearly a month. Tapney injured his rib cage last month. He'll face Mark Langston. Last night, the Angels beat the Twins 3-1. Dave Winfield knocked in the first run of the game off Paul Abbott. Abbott's counterpart, Jim Abbott, earned his 10th win of the year. In the Kingdome, Ken Griffey Sr. showed he still packs a punch at 40 years old. Griffey's 3-run homer led the Mariners over Bob Welch and the A's. Home run number 2 for elder statesman, who upstaged his superstar son, at least for one night. Cleveland Municipal Stadium looked like a scene from a horror movie last night. The White Sox and the Indians swatted more bugs than baseballs and sprayed more bug juice than hits. At least the umpires didn't have to stop the game like they did in Toronto a couple weeks ago. What a night in Cleveland. Well, if this is Tuesday, it must be Moscow for the North Stars. Well, not quite yet, but the Stars are on their way to the Soviet Union. They loaded the bus early this morning at Met Center. Coffee was the hot commodity at this 7:30 team meeting, the start of an 18-hour travel odyssey to the Soviet Union. The Stars should land in Moscow about 7 hours from now, 10:30 local time. They'll play 4 games in the Soviet Union as part of the NHL's Bobby Smith Friendship Tour 90. Remember last week when the Vikings picked Chris Carter and Donald Ikwe-Buike off the waiver wire? Well, the Timberwolves used the same technique today, but picked up a less well-known player. His name is Brian Rossum, a 5.5-point-per-game player who was waived recently by the Charlotte Hornets. Rossum, who missed the last 12 games of last season with a cervical cord injury, will be in uniform when the Wolves open training camp on October the 5th. He has recovered from that concussion. He's doing fine. Again, repeating the Vikings-New Orleans game, 3 o'clock start. By the way, there's still 4,500 tickets left for that one on Sunday afternoon.
Do you think we'll see Tommy Kramer in action?
Well, if John Fourcade doesn't move the team any better than he did last night against the 49ers, I think there might be a good chance the number 9 could be in there. What a welcome he would receive. Yeah,
Wouldn't
right.
he, though? Thank you, Mark. We'll be right back. So please stay.
For 1990, some Oldsmobiles are new from the ground up. Others are new from the top down. Some have striking new profiles, while others have bold new side views. Some new Oldsmobiles are at home in front of mansions, and others are at home in front of everything else.
This is the new generation.
To sell a house, it takes more than a handshake, it takes experience. RE/MAX sales associates average twice the experience of other full-time real estate agents. To sell a home, it takes expertise. RE/MAX associates are North America's top producers, outselling the average 3 to 1. To sell your home, do what it takes. Step up to RE/MAX.
Congratulations on your new home.
A new TV season is about to begin. Between broadcast and cable, you'll have more new shows, specials, movies, and miniseries to choose from this fall than ever before. Want to find out which ones are really worth watching? Then pick up TV Guide's Fall Preview. In it, you'll find out about all the new programs, including broadcast, cable, syndicated shows, specials, virtually everything on television. So get TV Guide's Fall Preview today. You're not ready for fall without it.
Gotta tell you, with the extra bushels I got from my Northrop King N3624, I was able to get that new implement I've been wanting.
Northrop King, because you're in business to grow.
You know, with the kind of corn harvest we got from Northrop King hybrids, we could get that new gown my daughter's been wanting.
Northrop King, because you're in business to grow.
This is a story about the environmental impact of a lunch tray. But even more, it is a story about a group of children who spoke up to help clean up their world, and adults who listened. Daryl Savage explains.
This is what lunch hour looks like at many schools around the state. Polystyrene trays tossed into the trash with the leftovers. But sixth graders at Bel Air School in Mounds View last year protested using the non-recyclable material. Their voice was heard. Mounds View is spending almost $150,000 to install dishwashers and get reusable hard plastic trays later this year. East Bloomington has already made the switch to washable platters.
We really started thinking of it just before Earth Day, trying to get, some preparation for that. And we did ask students, and there were many student letters that we got, too, asking that we also do something about styrofoam.
The trays are an educational tool as well.
Well, it helps the world with the new plates. It doesn't fill up the landfills as much because it's saving the earth and the people on it.
These trays are tailor-made for the now generation. Microwavable, freezable, and more importantly, reusable, even recyclable. The Task Easy tray was created by Arden Hills businessman Tom Sather.
Everything was left into the future, and the public was demanding response and was demanding response today. So I think that this particular product fits that need.
Chanhassen-based Impact Company rushed it into production and also promises to buy back the beat-up trays to shred them and reuse the material for other products. This may be a case of children leading the charge to keep their world from becoming a garbage dump. Daryl Savage, WCCO Television News, Bloomington.
A word about the costs. Polystyrene trays cost 1.5 cents a piece. For 200 students, that's $540 per school year. The Task Ease tray runs $1.80 each, so 200 costs $360 plus dishwasher and labor costs. We'll be right back.
Fendi Classic Umbrella. Yours with any Fendi fragrance purchase of $35 or more at Dayton's.
Brand name value is the name of the game at Menards Kickoff Sale. Save now on Lucite Maximum Exterior Latex Flat Paint with 12-year warranty. Its exclusive formula resists cracking and peeling, just $11.49 a gallon. And save on Armstrong Stylistic Vinyl Floor Tile. Just place and press for a beautiful no-wax floor. Choose from 14 patterns, now just 69 cents per tile. Don't pass up Menards Kickoff Sale.
Save big money at Menards. On September 22nd, the Minnesota Twins want to say...
Thank you.
for all your support this year.
Thank you.
So on Fan Appreciation Night, everyone gets a certificate, good for a free ticket to any game next season, plus a Gatorade team photo mug.
Thank you.
We're giving away American Airlines tickets and a Chevy S10 pickup from your Heartland Chevy dealers.
Thank you.
Plus dozens of autographed baseballs, jerseys, and bats. And look out for the logo now.
Thank you.
It happens so fast, it's almost over before it starts. Dayton's 13-hour sale. Starts Wednesday, ends Wednesday. Open till 11 p.m.
LensCrafters presents another breakthrough, new featherweight lenses.
Anything you can do for a really heavy prescription?
Try our new featherweight. They're so light you hardly know you've got them on.
Featherweight lenses, lighter, slimmer, and oh so comfortable. Available only from LensCrafters in-store labs in about an hour. New featherweights.
They're so comfortable.
For all your eyewear needs, LensCrafters custom-crafted eyeglasses in about an hour.
LensCrafters, Crystal Shopping Center and Rosedale Commons.
Finally, if you haven't voted yet in today's primary, you have until 8 o'clock before the polls close. And for the Election 90 results, you want to stay tuned to Channel 4 as we bring you live coverage from all the campaign headquarters.
I'm Pat Kessler. Right now, we're at the Arnie Carlson for Governor Election Night headquarters in Bloomington. But we'll also be following Doug Kelly as both candidates try to win the Republican nomination for governor.
I'm Bill Hudson at the registry in Bloomington, where John Grunseth hopes a massive get-out-the-vote effort will prove the polls wrong.
I'm Trish Van Pilsen at the North Star Hotel in Minneapolis. We'll spend the evening with Mike Hatch and supporters as they watch to see whether he can unseat Governor Rudy Perpich in the DFL primary.
I'm Alan Cox in Minneapolis at the headquarters for the DFL-endorsed candidates. We'll hear from Rudy Perpich if he wins his fourth chance to run for governor, and from Paul Wellstone if he gets his first crack at the U.S. Senate.
I'm Mike Walter at the Jim Nichols campaign at his home in Woodbury. The Agriculture Commissioner is hoping for a good voter turnout in greater Minnesota and a weak turnout in the metropolitan area to lead him to the DFL Senate nomination.
And all those reporters are bringing us live coverage of tonight's election starting at about 9 o'clock here on Channel 4. We go now back to Mike Fairborn in the Weather Center with more on the severe weather that's hitting central Wisconsin. Mike?
Cindy, we don't have any real new information, but we do know that we have at least 1 or 2, maybe even 3 tornadoes up in the Barron and Rice Lake, Wisconsin areas. Now, that area on the radar still looks very, very strong. You can see that there's actually a little hook shape to that echo, and that indicates that there is a possible tornado on the ground, and we're watching that. We also have now extended warnings into Rusk County, and you can see that the tornado warning remains in effect until 6:30 for Barron and for Rusk County until 7:15. We'll continue to update you. Our weather right here in the Twin Cities just looks steamy with highs in the 80s for the next few hours.
Okay, Mike, thank you very much. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you throughout the evening with complete election results. We'll see you later.
The big cold. It comes with big sneezes and big blows. Big colds need an extra strong tissue that won't blow through. A tissue with more hold. That's why there's new Puffs Extra Strength. It takes 2 of the other leading brand to equal the strength of just 1 Puffs Extra Strength. Yet they're soft as regular Puffs. New Puffs Extra Strength. More hold for the big cold.
Arby's presents a Taste of France with their delicious French dip and curly fries combo for just $2.49. This includes Arby's French dip with slow-roasted roast beef and hot au jus, plus spicy curly fries, or the French dip and Swiss with tender roast beef, sautéed onions, Swiss cheese, and hot au jus, plus curly fries for $2.49. So get a delightful Taste of France with Arby's French dip and curly fry combo, or French dip and Swiss curly fry combo for just $2.49. Bon appetit!
As we push this little button just like that. Hello, I'm Mike Fairborn. It's been a while since I was a scout like these Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, but I remember how much fun it was to try new activities with friends. I also know that the skills and the confidence that I gained as a scout has made a lasting impact in my life. Children learn they can do just about anything in Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts. To find out how your child will benefit, join other parents at Recruitment Night. It's on September 13th for Cub Scouts and September 18th for Girl Scouts. Call these numbers for information.
You're watching WCCO Television, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Hello and welcome to the Minnesota State Lottery's Daily 3 drawing.
Here to witness tonight's drawing is the accounting firm of Landfill and Horwath. Minnesota State Lottery official tonight is Howard Blomquist. Our first digit is 3. The second digit is 8. And the third digit is 8. Numbers drawn are not official until validated and certified. Tonight's Daily 3 number for September 11th, 1990 is 388. Information brochures on how to play the Daily 3 are available at your local Daily 3 retailer. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night and every night at 6:29 for the Daily 3.
From our studios in Hollywood, it's America's most watched game show. The famous wheel is spinning your way